Hi, hello, welcome, good morning. Happy Saturday morning, cartoons. Yay, you're here. It's Saturday morning. We're the Doodle Crew. This is what we do. This year, and this day, we have a special thing for you. We are bringing you cartoons from the year we were born. And through luck and no planning at all, we have managed to make it from all different years, no overlap. So, yeah, I'm very excited. So I'm going to start with Joey. We're going to go around. Tell me the year that you're working from and the cartoon that you're doing today and where people can find you.
So, first of all, you can find me everywhere on the interwebs and gaming at Slooty Mage. That is Leet Speak, so numbers for vowels. Next, I was born in the long, long ago of 1981. So such a distant and far off past when steamships ruled the earth. And the Cold War was still simmering.
Chilly? Still chilly?
Anywho, so while looking on my list of cartoons from my date of birth, I was like, there's nothing that really stands out here in the States. Like most of the cartoons that were sort of becoming mainstays in the 80s had already premiered their characters in like the late 70s. So they were getting like their team up shows and their spin-off shows. And so I decided to look elsewhere. And of course, I went to one of my favorite places to look elsewhere, and that was Japan.
Classic.
So I have chosen to do this lovely lady here, who I'm sure we've all seen in media. This is Urusei Yatsura, and this was a long-running manga in the late 70s, early 80s in Japan. It became an anime in the 80s, and relevant to today, it was just re-announced for an anime renewal in 2022.
Holy cow!
So I'm gonna do my updated take on this.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. That's exciting. Yay. All right. Jumping over to lovely Philomena. Hello.
Hello. So I win for the senior member. I am from 1973. And the cartoon that debuted then was Hanna-Barbera's Addams Family. And I really dislike a lot of the drawing style from that time from Hanna-Barbera. Hot take. I don't like that drawing style. But I flippin' love the Addams Family. But I am also going to view something from 1976, which is Garfield. The very first cartoon I remember drawing in my little notebook was Garfield in a big boombox. So I'm going to do a mashup of Wednesday Addams, as though the Addams family lives next door to Garfield.
I love it so much.
I'm going to do a painted portrait, and I'll flip my camera in a minute. A painted portrait of Wednesday from this time, and she wore pink a lot in the cartoon, which is totally my jam. Like, it's like Wednesday but cute. And somehow having Garfield in the frame. That's what I'm going to do, and I'm Philomena Jack Studio all over the internets.
Yay! Oh, I'm so excited for this. It'll be so cool. All right, Miss Megan. Hello.
Hello and good morning. So I am Megan Cook. You can find me across the interweb at Megan C Creates, especially on Instagram. I got lucky that I am a mid-decade baby for the 80s, and like almost everything I grew up with apparently came out in 85. So yay! Made it difficult to choose, and there was a lot of anime too. So I'm like, okay, let's just concentrate on American stuff. So I decided that it would be fun to do a power duet with Jim and She-Ra. So that's what I'm doing today. And then I even roped in some of the 1985 Barbies from that year because apparently rocker was a theme for Barbie that year. So mashing it all up for 85 here.
I love it. Oh, I'm so excited. Yeah, I was curious. I couldn't honestly remember when Gem came out, but I was like, man, it's got to be close. I got to be close to that one. So, yeah. Oh, I
Such a
love it.
good color palette too.
Oh my God, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be pink. Definitely pink.
A lot of pink. We're feeling pink this morning. I love it. Oh, I'm so excited. That's so fun. Also, I love Megan in true you fashion for the last few episodes. You are pulling in a whole bunch of things and a whole bunch of characters, and I love it so much.
Thank you.
I'm excited. All right, and I'm me. Hi, I'm Swan. You can find me at a Swan named Emily all across the internet. My mic doesn't cooperate. So I am coming in at year 86. And it was fun. I found out you can actually search for cartoons made by year, and there's a whole Wikipedia list that you can then even sort by country. And of course, then I fell down a deep, dark rabbit hole of that information, which is why I'm glad I looked it up earlier because I spent time looking into this because I'm like, this is fascinating. So I have landed on the amazing, I have never heard of, we'll say seminal classic of Laser Tag Academy.
What?
I don't know Laser Tag Academy. Apparently it only had, sadly, one season, which seems criminal. So I'm bringing Laser Tag Academy to the modern era. Lovely story of a girl in, it's like 2386, and she has a special laser gun, which is the only one of its kind, which is kind of, we'll say, magic wand-esque, and she has to go back to 1986 and connect with her relatives and her generational people. And then there's also a bad guy who could jump through time. So I'm kind of here for all of this. So yeah, we're going full Laser Tag Academy this morning. I'm pretty excited. But yeah, I recommend, if you're ever curious what cartoons were coming out the year you were born, look it up because it's fascinating. And it was fun too because there was definitely a whole bunch from my year, one that I had never heard of, but two being produced. Like there's one coming out of France. I got to find it, but there's so many good ones that are just bonkers. So I love it. Yeah.
I would like to call out Lauren Bouchard, who's done Home Movies and Bob's Burgers. So this was Wednesday Addams in 1973.
Oh my gosh.
Hello, Lauren. Hello.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody's borrowing from somewhere. Just saying.
Yes, to give you a list of some of the other ones that I could have chosen coming out of 86, we had The New Adventures of Johnny Quest, we had Ghostbusters, we had Galaxy High, we had Flintstone Kids, we had Dennis the Menace, Chuck Norris and the Karate Commandos.
Hell yeah, brother.
I mean, it's amazing. I almost did Ghostbusters. I was very, very close, but then I clicked on Laser Tag Academy and I could not do it.
I mean, time traveling laser tag. I mean, yeah, that's
Right?
kind of hard to beat.
Yeah, there was another one I'm trying to find from the UK that was just, where did it go? Oh, it was not animated, so that I couldn't pick it. But my second contender was an amazing British stop motion animated comedy series called Dick Spanner P.I.
Yes.
Oh, hell yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, he looks like, if any of you are fans of Steam Powered Giraffe, he kind of looks like the claymation version of them, but as a detective. It's bonkers and amazing, and I highly recommend, again, look it up. It's just insanity, and I'm here for all of it. So good. It's just so good. So I'll say maybe 86 didn't have as many lasting classics, but boy, did we have some bangers. Just like, what? What are you doing, 86? Oh, it's good. But yeah, I thought it was neat. As I said, as I fell down the rabbit hole of Wikipedia, I thought it was very cool that you could sort it by name as well as what country produced it, because there were definitely a lot of where I was like, no, these aren't getting syndicated in the US, so I would have never heard of them.
Yeah, I definitely ran into a few. Like I said, there was like a lot of team up shows and co-op or spin-offs, and so there was like the opportunity to draw like some Space Ghost stuff and Scooby-Doo stuff and a lot of things like that. It's weird because you don't think about it like that. Seems like a modern concept, right? Like the franchise building, but apparently we've just grown up with it. And that's why it exists.
Just desensitized to it. Did the A-Team have a cartoon that they were doing?
I feel like they must have, right? Because like
it feels like it had to.
So many adult properties that were like, yeah, let's just make a cartoon for a season and sell toys.
Yeah.
Speaking of selling toys,
Ooh.
I just started an online course with this company called Make Art That Sells. It's a 4-month boot camp, and every Monday there's new assignments. And first Monday of the month is some narrative about a character, and then the second Monday is design this as a toy.
That's so fun.
I am so excited. We had a prep work thing we had to do beforehand, which was it's so funny. So the first step is draw, illustrate stuff in a bakery. Like who's in a bakery? Like illustrate that. And I, of course, made everything with a face.
Yep.
And I didn't realize there was a part 2 of the homework was now make this all have faces. And it was like
one step ahead of you, buddy.
Who didn't make all this stuff with faces? Like, who is it in the class that thought, oh, I'm just gonna draw a cupcake? Like, who are those people? What do you mean there's no face on it? But I am excited about that class, and anyone who's into that world, Make Art That Sells. I think they may have something cool going on.
That's very cool. Well, and I definitely feel like sometimes just left to my own devices, I won't always challenge myself to do things outside of my comfort zone or, really push myself to think through a project. So sometimes when it because I'm still that kid, if there's the fear of a grade or it's homework, then I'll definitely do it.
Sure.
So
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm same. I'm, always drawing and making and thinking and doing stuff, but to have this like sort of formulaic plan for actually producing is already got my like head just lit up with excitement.
That's awesome. Yay.
So one of the ideas for a character I have in here, please do, everyone give in your 2 cents, is something around the idea of a little kid with a booger on his finger and what he's going to do with that booger. And ultimately it's, a story of like use a tissue, but all of the things that you could do otherwise if you were really feeling lazy.
I simultaneously love it, and I'm having terrible flashbacks to teaching summer camp recently, where I watched so many students go through that mental gymnastics of it's on my finger now.
Yep.
What will I do with it? And I'm just like, no, oh God, no, please don't put it in your mouth. Don't put it in your mouth. Oh God.
But you know what? Sometimes putting it in your mouth is the kindest thing that the kid could do. Because
Honestly,
he's going to
yeah.
put it like next to the Doritos.
Or on the kid next to him.
Exactly. So these are the things we need to think about. Is that the kindest thing in the moment that kid could do?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, and it's one of the
Yep.
heartbreaking things where I watch it happen and then I'm like,
Yep.
go to the sink, go wash your hands. And they look at me like I have run over their cat where they're like, why would I have to go wash my hands right now? And I'm like, please go wash your hands. That's so gross, I can't. And then you touched my markers.
Yep. Yeah,
yeah,
so this story came to mind partially because of a small child in first grade we'll just call Jay. And Jay would always have his hands down the back of his pants
oh dear.
and then all over his face. So multiple times I sent Jay to the nurse because I'm like, somebody else needs to have this conversation.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Kids, man.
What if, though, the booger is a speaking character?
Oh, it is.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely. I see it almost like a board game, and the booger like gets choices.
Oh my goodness. Oh no, well apparently that's a thing that someone else should have been spoken to about because Sergeant Snoodle says my boss puts her hands down the backs of her pants all the time. No, no,
Lordy.
buddy.
Lordy. Here we are. And, you know, I'm not a germaphobe by definition, but even before the dirty C times, I like double dipping chips. Like I got a Hawkeye for that shit. Like, ugh.
Yeah. I used to think I was pretty chill about it, but as I spent more time with specifically younger children and also, you know, all of this dirty C time, I'm just like, nope, don't touch me, don't touch my stuff, don't come near me, I will
Yeah. Yeah, there's an episode of Seinfeld where he gets like outed by his the other people in his apartment building because he won't kiss hello to everybody he sees. And I'm saying, like, what's with all of this, your mouth next to my face? Like, no. You can't make me.
But Megan, I have to believe that it's at least a little bit different when the boogers belong to something you've actually personally created.
No.
No?
No.
That is good feedback. Thank you.
Yeah, we were we were like, I don't know how we're gonna have a kid running around with all the things, and I'm like, oh, it'll be different because, you know, she's ours. And then like the first time she had a bad cold and everything was just coming out, I'm like, it's not, but I have to do it. I don't have a choice. And luckily I'm not sensitive to like throw up and stuff. Like I was always the one that had to clean it up when I worked at a restaurant and stuff, so that doesn't bother me. But that's the one thing is body mucus. I'm not okay with.
Okay, let's back up. Where is this restaurant where people were throwing up all the time? So
No, not I worked at various ones, and
Gotcha.
everybody would always be like, oh, I can't do it because, you know, then it'll cause my reflex. And I'm like, I'll go get the bucket and the mop. It's fine. It's not like it doesn't gross me out. It just doesn't affect me
Right.
that bad. Ugh.
When
And
worked
I
at
have
the-
dogs too, so, you know.
Yeah. Oh, Gosh, yeah. Anybody who has a pet has already done their fair share. When I worked at one of our local libraries, libraries are open to the beautiful public, and we have public bathrooms, and we would have the code brown or code yellow team, and
Yeah.
I just was not code brown. Not code brown. Sorry, people.
Yep. Yeah, there's definitely been a few times with working at an establishment that serves alcohol where you're just like, bad things have happened in this bathroom.
Yeah.
This is the bad place.
Oh.
Today on Doodle Crew, property functions and the people that have to deal with it.
You thought you were tuning in for cartoons, you fools.
Fooled you again.
Well, the best cartoons are the ones that are based in some sort of morality chat, I think. Like, should I eat this booger? I don't know.
All about those teachable lessons.
Exactly. Wah, wah, wah. I've learned something today.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it's too funny. I like it because last time, we're talking about Don Bluth. We get into childhood trauma. This time we're talking about mucus. Like, really just, you never know. It is always exciting and different on Doodle Crew.
That is true.
That's why I'm here. For the different.
I'm realizing, I think, why I like these costume designs so much. Because even though it reads very much as like laser tag vest, it's also got like some big time first appearance of Vegeta vibes with those great, like, it's like a vest but with humongous pointed shoulder pads. Like, I'm living for it, for this visual. I see why they did it. I'm like, this is really fun to draw. I see you. I get it.
So what is everyone using as their software of choice today?
Well, I'm on Photoshop CS3? CS2? I don't know. It's old. But I own it. It's my Photoshop.
Good for you.
Yay!
No monthly subscriptions there.
Just let me own it, Photoshop. Let me own it.
Right.
Now, what kind of tablet are you rocking?
A Cintiq, the medium-sized one, without fancy buttons on the side.
Ooh.
I don't remember the exact model, but it is a Cintiq.
Yeah, I feel like up until the point where you click purchase, like the make, the model, all of that are super important. Then once you own it and start using it, you're like, yeah, it's that one, I think. I don't remember.
I can draw on it. That's all that matters.
Yeah. So I am also working on a digital tablet. I have the Huion version. I think it's Canvas. Is what that one was called. So I'm drawing on that, and I'm using Clip Studio Paint for mine, which I also own. But I got that bad boy on sale, and it cost me all of $25.
Woohoo!
Heck yeah.
Mm-hmm. So
cheap art supplies. Woo!
Yay! And honestly, like I know I'm not the first by any means, but I really enjoy Clip Studio. I think a lot of it because it is built very much for what I do. So I don't do a lot of high-end photo editing or big time like layer editing that I would need the full capacity of Photoshop. I do a lot of sketching, I do a lot of comics, and this has a lot of utilities specifically geared towards that. So it stripped away a lot of the things I didn't need in Photoshop and just kept the stuff that I really did. And I found some cool brushes that I've liked to use. So yeah, it's big fan. I have enjoyed it very much. And especially if you're looking to invest in a program that is not either, well, now monthly subscription or very expensive. Highly recommend.
That's fair. I am working on my go-to, which is Procreate on iPad.
Woohoo!
Yeah.
Speaking of cheap software.
I am a fan.
Nope. In class on Wednesday, I'm teaching a cartoonime class, and the first week was just kind of getting warmed up, doing a little bit of lesson. But then this past week, we got to break out the iPads with Procreate, and the pure joy on the students' faces is very exciting because I'm like, yeah, no, this is super cool. Like, this is a really cool program. I like it. And we were sharing the wall with the lovely watercolor painting class next door, and I went over and apologized afterwards. I'm like, I'm sorry, I know I was super loud and talked a lot. They're like, no, it was really helpful. It was like, we got a whole lesson about it too. And I'm like, good. I'm glad you liked it. Also, good morning, Kurt. Hello. And hi, Hunter. You said hi earlier and I missed it. Hello, hello. Hello, friends. I just need to take a second and show you guys because look at what the bad guy from my cartoon looks like because he is incredible.
Ooh,
Yes. Look at this.
so
Look at
good.
that face. Look at that facial hair. What is happening to his jaw? Who knows? I love it. What? So good.
Oh, it's such a classic, like 80s formula for villains, right? Like
That
they're
is
just
Kelly
bald with
Savalas.
weird facial hair.
Yep. Yeah, weird facial hair equals bad. This is what I've learned.
Oh my god.
I love it so much. Also, I highly recommend you go to YouTube and you watch the trailer, like the intro for this, because at one point he's got like a pack of demons. He uses his laser gun. It makes a pentagram, and then he goes back in time. And I don't understand any of it, but I'm like, I'm in. All right, don't explain more. I don't need to know. I'm in. You got me.
So wait. just so I'm clear, we have demons, pentagram, magical elements, plus we're like 1,500 years in the future.
Yes.
And technology with laser guns. Okay.
Laser tag. Yep.
And somehow
it opens on a laser tag arena where they're all like playing laser tag.
But we have to use the mysticism for time travel. We can't have like a device.
You can't just like hit the thing on your vest and time travel. That's,
No.
That won't work.
We gotta summon demons in order to time travel. Everyone knows that.
Obviously. It would be foolish to think otherwise.
You're right. Why would I think anything different? Silly me.
Yeah, that just sounds like a development team that didn't like each other. They're like, all right, we're each gonna come up with one idea and it's going in the cartoon.
Yeah, and like Bob was in charge of making the villain and everybody's mad at Bob about it. So you're like,
Yeah.
no, fine, there's magic now.
Now there's magic. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Bob.
you feel like they were just sitting around a table and they're like, okay, guys, we have all the pilots that got shot down. All the ideas are in a hat. Just pull one. Let's go for it. We're going all out. If this one doesn't make it, we're done.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like that lollipop, the Dum Dum flavor that's like all the flavors from the bottom of the barrel.
Yes. We just do everything. That's our pitch. Everything.
I can't draw this hand. I'm laughing too.
Oh god. Just to be fair, I think the cartoons worked because I've never actually encountered any human man who has a mustache like this. So they learned that this was not a good look. Also, I love it because he's got a collar over top of his.
Hey, Bill, what do you think? Man, you look like that dude from Laser Tag Wars.
Shoot, I can't do that.
See, the collar over his armor tells you that he means business. It is.
Oh, yeah.
It is his version of the mullet because he cannot have a mullet.
He can't have a mullet. Yep, he's doing.
He's got the armor to party, but he also means business.
He means business. That's how you know. That's how you would know that it's a bad adult against good kids because he's wearing the collared shirt. I just love it because in watching this, like the cartoon part of my brain was like, I don't question any of this. Like, nope, you set this out to me. You've explained the rules of your universe. All right, I'm in. Let's go. Let's see where you take me.
Oh god.
See, again, Ghostbusters would have been fun, but would have missed this.
Man, that Ghostbusters cartoon was a banger, though.
It has actually held up pretty well, hasn't it?
Yeah.
I remember watching some of it recently. I was like, this isn't actually bad.
I mean, they really did try. Especially the opening sequence. Like, they put a lot of effort into that opening sequence for the 80s.
I have to feel like because it came out after the movie, right?
Mhm.
So, like, you have the success of that movie. Like, they had to have either gotten a bigger budget or had, like, a lot more pressure put on them to be like, no, it's got to be good. Because
Right.
We have toys to sell, guys.
Yes,
you
we
gotta
have
make it good.
Creative decisions with the inside of the ear. All right, I'm here for that. Let's do it.
And as far as tools, I am using a panel from Trikel. They're out of California with acrylics and cheap brushes.
I love that panel, though. Also, I want you to genuinely know that my ADHD is so bad right now that I had forgotten that that's what we were talking about. And it's bad.
It's all good.
Really bad. I'll admit, like, I talk to the cat a lot, but I don't feel like she's really helping me keep my social skills up. So she is delightful company. So. Ooh, he's a lefty. Ooh. Tricky.
Another classic sign that he's a villain.
Yeah. Hello and good morning, Guardian Randy. Welcome, welcome. Doodle crewing it up. So a thing I wanted to throw out to chat is, if you are hanging out and able to access the internet, I would love to know if you had to pick a cartoon from the year that you were born to draw with us, what one would you go with?
Ooh.
Aw, thank you, Andy Mentor. That makes me happy. Says it's my equivalent of Saturday morning cartoons now. I mean, as we were saying earlier, we do bring life lessons.
Yep.
So, doing our public service. And these streams are brought to you by viewers like you. I'm pretty sure, though, if I went to public broadcasting and asked them to pick us up, they'd be like, no. Yeah. Thank you so much for your interest, but no. Yeah, okay. Guardian Randy, yeah. I when I saw that on the list, I was like, oh, I've already done Johnny Quest. I can't do Johnny Quest again. But yeah, I had the same thought. Because it was that and Ghostbusters. Those are like, oh no, these are huge, huge IPs. But see, this is also how you know that I should take the class that Philomena was talking about, because given the opportunity, Emily said, well, I could do a really known property that would probably sell and make me money, but I'm going to go and run in the opposite direction and do something no one has heard of in 25 years.
It's called niching down. This class is so amazing. So already, people sharing their pre-homework, it's a thing that if you allow it, it could be intimidating. But I'm going to put that away. I am just going to be the artist that I am and celebrate other people's awesomeness as well. But, ooh, there is some great art by the other students going on.
There's something interesting, too, that I find, and I don't know if the rest of you run into this, where I have I would say the normal level of comparison when I look at other art on the internet, compare it to my own, and, feel the appropriate amount of shame and frustration. But then there's a weird connection when I'm comparing myself to other artists that I specifically know, who are my friends, because these are people I care about. But at the same time, I'm just like, son of a gun, they did that really well. Like, oh no, I'm extra mad. I'm really happy for them, but I'm mad at myself. Like, it's a weird brain place. I mean, at no point do I want anything bad for my friends, because I want you to kick ass and succeed. But I still be like, Emily, get good. Come on, why aren't you good?
I think that is a thing, because a couple of the artists I knew back in DeviantArt times, many moons ago, about a decade ago, I actually reconnected with some of them, and one of them has gotten so good, and I'm just like, how? But I mean, I'm so happy for you, but oh my god, I look at my stuff and I'm like,
that?
Yeah, in the last 10 years, what have you been doing? Because I just have not seen that kind of progress, ma'am. Yep.
Yeah, some of the artists where they'll post like, this is what I did at the beginning of 2020, and this is what I'm doing at the beginning of 22, and I'm like, ha ha, cool. That's nice. That's really okay. I'm just gonna go now. Yes. But, no. It's funny because I think, and that's why I do have so much fun doing the time warp challenges that we've done, because it really does give me a chance to look back on, obviously some of the pieces I pulled were from much, much younger, but I looked through my old art and I was like, oh no, there is actual improvement there. It just sometimes is a little bit slower, so I can't see it as clearly side by side, but it's there. It's happening. It's just... Oh, that brain. You trickster, you. Ooh, Andrew Mentor also says, DuckTales for him, though, now that I know there's a Little Women anime. Yeah, I think I was vaguely aware of that, but I've definitely never watched it. So I'll be curious to know what that one is.
One of these days, you should just pick some music and make a compilation of us just redragging ink lines over and over again.
And a one, and Control Z, and Control Z. Oh my gosh, I had one the other day where I'm just like, I'm gonna erase you completely and draw something else. Come on. Yep. Yeah, that's the bane of my. I'm going to get smaller, finer ink lines. I'm not going to ink so heavy. And then I start having trouble and I push a little bit harder and I push a little bit harder. And then all of a sudden I was like, oh, dang it. It's all thick black again.
My thing that I do, especially when I work on paper, is I keep saying, don't forget, you may want to frame this. You may want to put a mat on it. And I always draw all the way off the paper. And to the point where, like, compositionally, it would look ridiculous to put a mat or even the tiniest frame. So then I'm like, okay, I'll just paste this on something. It's the dumbest, but I keep doing it. It's my thing. Off the paper.
Yep. And I think that's always a funny thing because I don't know if there's an idea when people make art. They're like, oh no, they absolutely had a plan and this is what they plan to do. And I was like, I mean, yes, there was a plan. I just, either completely ignored the plan or forgot it and then just made do with where we ended up.
Yep. Yep.
There was absolutely a plan. This was not it.
Yeah, I had a teacher who, to help us with that, he wanted us to write down like the 4 C's on the back of our composition, what you're going to call it. That was the C, like the title, composition, title, and like 2 other things I don't remember to help us. Colors, you're made, I don't know, whatever the hell he said. He was really great. I wasn't a good student though. But he put that out to us so that we could like bring it in, dial it back, or focus up. So I offer that to the world. If that works in your brain, great.
I like it. Well, I think my small amount of growth of things I've realized is because there was so often where I was just so excited to create a piece that I didn't want to take the time to plan out everything or do rough sketches or do a thumbnail or anything. I'm like, I just want to create this. I just want to draw it. And, for better or for worse, sometimes that was to the detriment of the piece. But what I'm realizing now is that's okay. You can lean into that it doesn't mean that that piece has to be the end. Like that could just be your rough draft, even though you've finished it like a finished piece. You
Mhm.
can go back, you can change it, you can take this idea that you had and still work into it and make it what you and adapt it. And like, I think it was that slowly understanding that I didn't have to be so precious with my art that took me a while to get, but because you never want to detail yourself out of your enthusiasm.
Yeah. I'm so glad that you're bringing that up. So I've got a mural thing that's happening right now, and it's under review, and people want to make sure I'm using the colors that I said in my digital sketch, and it's so confining. It's like when I get to the wall now, I feel this constriction because some board of people have said, okay, you told us it was going to be peach. It better be peach. It can't be a burnt orange now,
Yeah.
And it's a thing. It's a real thing. But I'm seeing it as the exercise for what it is. I'm still happy to be doing the mural. I'm still excited about it, but it does feel different than like just give me the freedom, y'all. I know what I'm doing.
Yep. And so much of the time, I feel like once the final is available for people to see, like they love it and all of the concerns that they had are just gone. But it's a very tough place to just stand there and be like, no, trust me, I got this. Where they're like,
right.
But do you? And I'm like, oh no, I really do. I really do. I promise.
Yeah.
Trust the process.
It's the process.
Yeah.
I think it's a control thing too, especially for people who might not be artistic in the same way or artistic at all themselves. Like, I think it's how they control not understanding the situation, or like they don't understand how you would actually do that, so they need you to explain it to them in a way that they can then reconcile in their brain.
Yeah, I agree. Like if they're talking to their mechanic, they have no like touch point for what happens under the hood, but everyone has some sort of touch point about like painting a wall, right? So they're like they think they know something, but it's a totally different ball game.
Yes. I also would like to submit that there is a chance that some people are just jerks, and I swear they like being difficult on purpose. But I list them last because I don't feel like that's usually the case, even though it feels like it in the moment sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. And it's right what you said about people having control, that so many people have so little control in their world that they grasp for anything that they feel like, like people with perfect hair all the time. I always feel bad for them. I'm like, just let it go. Have some flyaways. Have some flyaways. It's okay.
Soapbox Cloud says, are you this true? Some people like her. I don't think you're difficult. I don't think you are. But I'm also not your fiance, so, I'm just your friend. Yes, we're very sad. Unfortunately, Mayor Squish is dealing with some frustrating technical issues, which I feel like all of us can collectively shudder about because it's an ever-present thing. So she had to bow out this morning, but we are going to get her back. Don't you worry. We need the Mayor Squish in our lives. Also, 50 minutes in, and I've finally finished my sketch. So
we should probably save, huh?
I've been saving this whole time.
It's so good.
But I also control. I can't control Z very easily.
No. did realize, not worse than not saving, but I forgot I was going to check the dimensions of what I wanted the final piece to be before I started my layout, so I didn't have to try and change it. But I didn't do that. All right. So Soapbox Clots, I got to ask you, for cartoon from the year you were born, which one would you go with if you were drawn today? Yes. I think I got to bring my puppy dog down just a little bit.
What is? Oh.
Hey, nice. That was actually pretty close. That's a happy accident. Also, I will admit that I feel like every time one of my goofs like that doesn't actually super negatively impact me, it does not teach me to get better about not doing it again. Oh, Soapbox Glad says, "Oh snap! The D&D cartoon aired the year I was born. Heck yeah!"
Oops.
Also, I know we've talked about it before, but Philomena, I wanted to call out. I love this thing that you do where you take, when you're changing paint colors or you're testing paint colors, you paint them on another. Yeah, you talk about that because you actually do it. And I'm not...
Well, thank you, Emily. I would love to. So what I do is, acrylic paint is plastic and pigment suspended in an emulsion, blah, 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 chemicals. But the ones I use are non-toxic, but I do my very best to not let them get into my paint water, because when I'm dumping my paint water, I don't want the water going down into the environment and so on. So what I always do is I have a secondary or even a tertiary, a third substrate that I'm painting on at the same time. And sometimes it's just me wiping and not making a thing yet. But what I do is I wipe the excess paint from my brush onto something, and those somethings then become other artworks. And then, so step one is wipe it on something else. Step two is wipe it onto a beautiful cloth. And then step three is the water, so that my water stays cleaner longer and it's more environmentally happy.
Heck yeah!
Thanks for asking.
I love that.
If you see this, I'm working on a Love Kittens right now. So I'm just slowly wiping off my brush onto this other surface.
Oh, we got some good ones. So also, so Megan Felici says Rocco's Modern Life. I'm assuming it says Rocky's, but I think it's Rocco's Modern Life. Excellent. Also, Kurt, you're not old, and we love you. OG Spider-Man cartoon premiered during Kurt's birth year.
Rocco's Modern Life. Megan, you're such a kid.
Ooh, so Joey got a call out specifically. Anna Banana 12111, which is not how you normally say that. But what cartoon do you think premiered in my birth year, Joey?
Oh boy. Well, not to expose too much, but did cartoons premiere in your birth year? Hang on. We're gonna do a little private investigating here.
Oh, Kurt also had the Japanese version of Speed Racer. Heck yeah. See, Kurt, you've got good ones. Now I've got Rocco's Modern Life stuck in my head. Which, for some reason, and I cannot explain why, always then morphs into the Doug theme song in my brain. There's no reason for it. I always go from like Rocco's Modern Life to I'm like, that's not the same. They're different. Okay. Was it Gertie? Was it Gertie the dinosaur, Joey?
Might have been. 47.
Ooh. Oh, so we got another 81 BB. Looking at Smurfs or Spider-Man or Shazam. I like it. Thank you, Vineyard Warrior.
Oh yeah, there was stuff going on. We had some WB stuff. We had some Hanna-Barbera stuff. Disney was doing stuff then.
I mean, you got to figure Snow White came out in, what, 37?
Yeah.
So Mickey was happening before that. Gertie was happening in the late teens, early 20s, I think. So you had Windsor McKay around then, too.
So Steamboat Willie, which would have been the first Mickey cartoon, right? Was in 1928. Holy free holy. Coming up on the big centennial anniversary.
I find that animation creepy.
Yes.
Something. Ugh.
I
That's
feel
why
like
Cuphead works so well, right?
I was just gonna say Cuphead. I was like, honestly, I felt like they took the creepiness that is that noodle arm OG Disney animation. They're like, we're gonna make a whole video game about this creepiness and do it really well. And I was like, yeah, you did. Ooh, I'm gonna flip this before I start inking.
Isn't it called like noodle animation because the limbs have like no bones?
I think so. They were having No Bones Day before it was even a thing. Super dated joke. Ooh, Ace Tigers had He-Man and Masters of the Universe, the new Scooby and Scrappy Doo show, and Dungeons and Dragons. Nice. Well, I like it too because a lot of the ones that are getting mentioned are ones that actually had kind of a decent run to them.
Yeah.
Or at least even if they were short-lived, they continued to stay in the cultural conscious and the cultural zeitgeist. They didn't fade from obscurity. Just so sad, like the one that I'm working on. Sorry, I'm now the new champion for laser tag.
I was going to say, you could be bringing, Shady's back,
Yeah, I'm gonna do it.
You find, this goes up on the internet and you like unlock the secret Laser Tag Academy fan club that's been out there for so long. You find out this whole subculture around it.
They're just waiting. They're waiting for me. Waiting to find them. I feel like it's some of the, the incredible tribes that live in the Amazon. We're like, nah, bro, we've been here the whole time. Like, we're cool. You don't have to come here. Oh my gosh. Apparently, and I love this, East Tiger says the Rubik's Cube had a cartoon as well. Rubik, the Amazing Cube. Oh, and Sonata Mag wants to know, is that She-Ra rocking out with a guitar?
That would be correct.
Heck yeah, it is. Kurt, so Kurt saying Rubik cartoon was bad. I could have guessed, but maybe. I feel like, oh gosh, I think it was a Clone Wars episode where they're doing like the bounty hunter stuff and they have to make it through like all the different puzzle levels. Am I okay? I'm like, am I hallucinating this?
Yep.
Like,
that was a thing.
As I'm saying these words out loud, I was like, you sound insane. Like if you could have done the Rubik's Cube thing where it's like an evil Borg cube and it's like an ongoing puzzle thing that you have to like escape from, but that probably wouldn't have helped sell the toys. It would have just been fun to watch. Thank you, Sonata Mag. Thank you for the raid. Welcome. Vox I almost say what?
Vox Machina?
Vox Monk? Vox Mox too?
Has anybody else watched The Legend of Vox Machina yet?
I saw a trailer.
I saw the trailer and I saw the behind the scenes thing where they talked to Phil Barassa, who's one of my favorites, and I fangirled for 10 minutes.
It's very good.
It's so good. I love him so much. I'm like, Phil, can I just be you when I grow up, please? Yeah. If anyone doesn't know what we're talking about, Critical Role, live play D&D, who's very famous in this weird community that we have, is coming out with an animated show that's going to be on Prime. And
the first 6 episodes are out. Yeah.
Oh, even better. So an artist who has worked on a whole bunch of the DC animated stuff, which I will forever fangirl, an amazing artist named Phil Barassa was one of the character designers on it. So I already loved his stuff. So I don't actually keep up with Critical Role. So I found out about it through his posting. But the designs are gorgeous. The animation looks amazing. If you were a fan of Invincible in the adult kind of cartoon adaptation, this is going to be very much that. It's D&D, it's silliness, it's wonderful. And then they did the thing, which I know it's a trope, but I love it so much, where they do the thing where like, we've assembled the mightiest heroes, and they do all of the beautiful like panning shots and the hair blowing in the wind and the sunlight glistening off the muscles, and then all of these amazing heroes get wiped out immediately. They're like, welp, who else do we have? I love it so much. So, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, the fights have been spectacular. Like, if nothing else, just like, and you can, it's that like you were saying, from that school of DC art animation. So
yeah. Which, if you liked Young Justice, if you liked any of the newer DC animated, like, it's oh yeah. So Sonata Mag saying it's so good, you don't even need to be a fan, just start watching, it's fun. Yeah, I feel like they did a really good job of, because Critical Role has they've got like 5 years, if not more, of world building and episodes, and like, if you want to dig into this universe, there is so much out there for you. But if you don't, you can still enjoy these things at a, I would say, more surface level and not feel like you're missing.
Yep.
I feel like it's I'm going to say more the Marvel TV shows are doing really well, where they're still telling really fun, really good stories. And if you know more, there are all of these Easter eggs where you're just like, oh my gosh, like that was, I'm thinking of Hawkeye specifically, like that was just like in the comic, which I loved, but you had to read the comic to understand it. But if you didn't, it doesn't matter, because it's still fun, and it's still, I'm here for Dad Hawkeye forever. I love him so much. And since we're talking about that, I will absolutely admit that I was very skeptical about Haley Steinfeld. Steinfeld? Yeah. Playing the character that she's playing, because I was like, but she killed it and she did a perfect job and I loved it. So
She's been all over recently.
yeah,
I feel like I
think
keep hearing her name and stuff.
Yeah, definitely a current it girl.
Oh my god, I love it. Like, don't mess it up. All right. Every painting goes through multiple ugly stages, so you just gotta ride that wave.
Yep.
Ride it to the bowels of hell.
Again, going back to that whole trust the process.
Yeah.
Yep. I've tried to truly lean into the as your art gets to the ugly stage where you really hate it, you need to work on it for like 10 more minutes, because it's usually like your breakthrough is right about there.
Yep.
So
Agreed.
but boy, that bad
Woo.
section feels real bad.
Nobody freak out.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, Lost Limey, Frances Pugh. Frances, right? Is it? I think so. I adore her Yelena. I was very late to the Black Widow movie watch, which I've just done recently, and then her, she's amazing. I love it. I love what she's doing with the character. I think it's excellent. I like it. Sonata Meg says I stole her accent for D&D. I love it. I have been trying to figure out a way, and this is such a stupid random thing. So, give you a little bit of backstory. If you're familiar with the rom-com Sweet Home Alabama, which is Reese Witherspoon and a very lovely gentleman whose name I cannot remember, and Patrick Dempsey, I think, is the other guy in it. It's weird. But anyways, there's a point where Reese goes back to the bar where she's hanging out and is interacting with a girl that her ex is flirting with. And the girl introduces herself by saying, "Hi, I'm Star." And I have forever wanted to pull that voice acting as a character in D&D. I just have to find the character that fits that amazing voice acting. So, yes, it's my... I would be obnoxious, but I would have fun. Also, if any of you have watched or listened to the musical Waitress, Dawn is a very close part of that. So, it would be an incredibly terrible Southern accent, of which I cannot do, but would do anyways.
Has anyone been watching, or maybe I don't even know when it came out, the City Greens, Disney?
I know of it.
I have seen it.
It has some yucks in it. It really has like some things that made me LOL. But I do wonder how the people in the South feel about the portrayal. It's sort of like a Green Acres take, right? Like these country bumpkins move to the city, and like the son Cricket Green, he like doesn't wear shoes, and there's just some stuff that I'm like, huh, is that wrong? I'm gonna keep watching.
Well, it's kind of like it. I kind of look at it like the Beverly Hillbillies. They're really focused on tropes and stereotypes, and that's what's selling that kind of idea. I think as long as you take it with a grain of salt and you're like, that's not how anybody in Alabama actually lives, I think it's fine.
Right. Yeah. Puppers.
Aw. I don't know, guys. Maybe they were onto something with this villain face, because I am digging the insanity of this face shape, and it might come back in my art. And I'm definitely just going to add collars to all of my armored people now, because that's power right there.
You think like no, that's somebody else's dog.
And then all of a sudden, all the dogs could start going like, no!
Dulcie, babe. The mail is here, as if anyone was wondering.
I appreciate it. She has saved us all.
She saved us all. Good girl. She's so proud of herself right now. Anyway.
So the classic trope where like you've got the villain for the series, but then the stronger villain shows up. That was like you had Cobra Commander, but then Serpentor showed up, and you had Megatron, and then you find out that that sort of thing. You think this guy's like Overlord Evil Commander has like a popped collar with his armor? Like that's his thing.
Yes. I love it. I'm telling you, like, now that you've made me think of like the deep subreddits of the Laser Tag Academy like fandom, like I want to know, like I want to know all of the rumors, all of the theories that never paid off, like they were building up to something, and and Emily was not heard from for the next 3 weeks.
So aren't we all curious now about what's in the mail? So Mama got paid for something. Woo! So there's a check.
Yeah.
We've got a container, a busted container of what is that? Of what kind of tea? What kind of Breathe Right tea has shown up. And a thermometer, baby. Exciting times in the Jack household.
Yeah, it's a party.
There you have it. I love getting checks in the mail. There's so often that, because I freelance so much, they're like, oh, we're going to give you direct deposit. And, I'll take the money however it wants to come. But I'm like, man, I want to have that check in my hand. I love it.
Yeah, there's something that's a little less, it's a little more anticlimactic when I get an email saying, PayPal's like, hey, you got money. And I was like, Oh, yay! I
Um,
mean, yay!
Yeah.
But also,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I can't open it the same way. Like, I clicked open, and then it opened my email, and then
Yeah.
that was it. There's
Yeah,
no fanfare with that.
Agreed.
Although I think at this point it's now a tie between, like, which is more obscure for people if they're going to pay me with a check or pay me in cash, because no one has cash anymore, and they're just like, "Can I Venmo you?" Like, yeah, you can Venmo me. That's fine. That's fine. Like Philomena said, I am happy to receive payment in any way in which
Yep.
you would like to make that work.
Yeah, 100%. I just recently, so the worst part of this dirty sea coming through our house is I had to back out of 3 separate gigs, like freelance
Aw.
things. One is getting rescheduled anyway, so that's not such a big deal. But I was supposed to. So one of the things I do is I work as a seamstress for our local theater. When things come through. So Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was just here.
Oh.
Boo! So the day I was supposed to start working on costume department, I got my positive notice. So I had to turn that down. And then this weekend, I was supposed to deliver 8 painted masks for a little play that's going on somewhere else. And I was like, I can't handle these. Like, even if I have a mask on, and what am I gonna put gloves on? Like, I just couldn't figure out a way that felt good to handle these things people were gonna have on their face.
Yeah.
So I turned that down, but
Oh,
more things will come. I know it.
yes. It's very frustrating though.
There it is.
All right, y'all. I will be right back.
Okay.
After these messages.
We'll be right back.
Right back.
Okay, so Joey, you have to help me out because I've been thinking this since you first introduced this character, and I'm thinking she was from Ranma 1/2, but who was Lum? Like the character Lum.
This same character.
Was it?
Different
Okay.
branding. Yeah.
Okay. All right, see, I feel a little less crazy now.
Yep. I think that name change came initially in the Korean market. I was doing some research on it earlier. Oh no, that's what it was released as in Southeast Asia on television. It was,
Okay.
well, Lamu to start the Invader Girl, and from there that the name changed for another audience to Lum. That was for the North American release.
Okay. All right. Not gonna lie, that really I feel so much less crazy because you're talking about this, and I'm like, I could have sworn, but I don't know that I ever actually watched it. I think it was just one of those where I'm aware of this in the internet and anime, but I have no way to investigate further.
Yeah, that's how it sort of was with me. Like, I was like, wait a minute, I know this character, but I don't remember from what.
Yeah. Well, I feel like, I don't know, and I could be completely wrong. So, chat, if you have perspective on this, I would appreciate it. But I feel like Ranma 1/2 was one of those where, like, I really should have watched it because it was probably right up my alley, and I always meant to, but then it just kind of disappeared. Like, I don't know if it just didn't get syndicated more or if it's streaming anywhere or something, but I feel like that one didn't catch, like, you know, something like Bleach or other ones of the era. I don't know. Like, I'm curious about that, but maybe it's just because I stopped actively looking for it.
Well, it was definitely before, like, we had Toonami and stuff that was really pushing, like, anime in America. Like, for a while, you were lucky to catch anything on, like, Sci-Fi on Saturday mornings or something, right?
I watched so many animes that were way too mature for me on
right?
Sci-Fi in the mornings.
They, like, there was some shows that came over, right? Like, there was Voltron and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That were definitely in that wheelhouse, but for a long time, like, this stuff, we just didn't see, there was no outlet for it in America, right?
Yeah.
And then the internet was a thing.
And then the internet.
Or you would see, like, I remember, like, a lot of my first exposure was going to, like, Sam Goody or something at the mall, and they would have the VHSs, right?
Oh,
they would have, like, their little 4-foot anime section.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, I live for that. And I'm pretty sure at one point I picked up something that I loved the cover art for, and I think my mother.
Remember when Swan had a mic?
Can't hear you.
You're gone. You're a goner.
Emily.
Mike's gone.
Is she frozen? Or is she just
looks like
hanging?
now, yeah. Maybe she's
she's getting the mail.
Yeah.
No, sorry.
Anyway.
She's back.
The former employees of FYE got me.
So we lost your audio for a good chunk of time there.
Yeah, I lost everything.
For your hentai story.
Randall, I feel like I'm constantly missing something. Yeah, so definitely went to buy a VHS of something that I liked the art for, but didn't know anything about it, and I'm pretty sure it was hentai, and my mother did not buy that for me. But yeah. Why is this in the same anime section as the other stuff? Yep. Oh, VHS. And yes, Sonata Mag, I think, at least for me, some of my motivation for having Doodle Crew have Saturday morning cartoons was the fact that it is such nostalgia for all of us. And whether you were an actual, like, watch it on Saturday morning, it was just the amount that cartoons existed in syndication was just like, yeah, you got excited about watching cartoons. Oh, and also, I could be wrong. I kept saying Ranma 1/2, but Randall's saying, I'm not going to try. Randall, why do you make me try and say these things that I can't say? From Yurusi Yatsura?
Yatsura.
There you go. Thank you. So, did she cross over with Ranma at one point, or have I just?
She's similar.
Okay.
It's that 80s anime look.
Yeah.
Ha!
That was amazing. Aw, Hunter, are you a 96 Bambino? Pretty sure you've got some good ones. Just to fully do a throwback to my last piece. In 1996, you got the All Dogs Go to Heaven the series. I mean, I don't even know if I should read any more. You got Sea Bear and Jamal, Captain Simeon and the Space Monkeys, Cave Kids, Dexter's Laboratory, Eagle Riders, Hey Arnold, Inspector Gadget's Field Trip, Jungle Cubs, Kablam, Mighty Ducks, Mortal Kombat, Project Geeker, Quack Pack, Richie Rich, Road Rovers, Superman the Animated Series.
Oh, Road Rovers was a banger.
The Ambiguously Gay Duo, The Fantastic Voyages of Sinbad the Sailor, Incredible Hulk, The Mouse and the Monster, The Oz Kids, The Real Adventures of Johnny Quest, represent. These are just the ones that came out in the US. Yeah. Ooh, Canada and US had Beast Wars, Transformers.
Oh, I miss Beast Wars.
Yeah. Canada, France, and the US had The Magical Adventures of Quasimodo.
What?
I'm telling you, you have to do its list of animated television series of the year, and you have to look them up because the gems that exist in these Wikipedia lists.
I think I've asked my dog what the problem is.
I think
Your
the
mail's
puppers are
here,
mad
Joey.
'cause
Your mail's here.
I'm drawing dogs that don't look like either of them. They're like, what the heck? Also, I just love that there's always got to be some sort of animal. Like, he's giving me big time Snarf vibes. Like, I love it.
Cracking up.
Oh my gosh, her little nose. I love
Right?
it so much.
It's got some Schultz-ness to it.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, Sonata Mag getting Yogi's Gang, Bugs Bunny, Hong Kong Phooey, New Adventures of Gilligan, Devlin, Lassie's Rescue Rangers, Super Friends, Speed Buggy. Oh, that's interesting. So Lost Lemmy is saying, as a 1981 baby in the UK, we didn't really have Saturday morning cartoons. They tended to be a weekday afternoon thing, exceptions being the X-Men animated series and the Raccoons, which is a sentence that I love very much.
Yeah, so much.
Oh, Mayor Squish, we're going to do this one again because I love this one. So we're going to bring you back. And yeah, no, we're going to get you on. We're going to get you doing this. Oh, so teaser from Mayor Squish. Some of the highlights: Recess, Daria, and Pepper Ann.
I love Pepper Ann.
Pepper Ann was so underrated. I feel like she did not get the love that she deserved.
Yeah. My BFF in school at the time was exactly Pepper Ann, and all these years later, she and I still send each other Pepper Ann stuff.
I love that. Okay, I just need to know how these. Which I think, as we were talking about the noodle animation, I feel like Pepper Ann managed to make the noodle animation not bother me as much as previous instances of it had. I know. Oh, there's nothing there.
I think 90s Nickelodeon was onto something, because when you think about it, several of the series had that almost noodly quality, like Cat Dog, you know.
Mm-hmm.
They just kind of wobbled, but it wasn't like all over, like it had a method or a rhythm to it. I think that wasn't too bad.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one where I feel like, you know, when you talk golden age of Disney and stuff like that, like golden age of Nickelodeon, where you just had amazing creators, amazing ideas, amazing artists and animators, like you just had that lightning strike of all of these people ended up in the same place at the same time, and not just like one hit, like they made a whole bunch of amazing stuff. I know it was someone in chat, but I'm unfortunately forgetting who it was. But during the Don Bluth episode, asked us, you know, if you could pick any time or place to go and work in an animation studio for, you know, for a movie or a series or something, which would you pick? And it was one of those where all of a sudden everybody's like, oh my gosh, I don't know. All of them. There's so many. Oh, I don't know where. I'm assuming it's birth year, but I don't know where it came from. But the Hudson Brothers Razzle Dazzle show sounds amazing. And then UK cartoons from Lost Lamy's birth year, Danger Mouse, Dog Tanyan, and the Three Muska Hounds, and Pigeon Street. Which, I'm sorry, but Pigeon Street sounds the most British thing for some reason. Like, I just imagine little business pigeons with their little bowler hats and their umbrellas, like, properly walking around London. I don't know why. I love it so much. Well, apparently in the U.S., Lost Limey had Laverne and Shirley join the army. I'm
Classic.
telling you, these are amazing. Oh, Sonata Meg, I love when there's old commercials left in on those, because it's so good. Oh, nice. Welcome, Dell and Simpkin. Welcome. Yeah, for Christmas, a number of years ago, a friend of mine got me a copy of the Star Wars Christmas special, which I'm still calling them a friend, even though they did that. No, it was good. I'm glad they did. But it was one of those where it was clearly like a homemade thing. So included on the DVD that I got was also the episode of The Muppets where Mark Hamill guests on, and a just like 30-minute compilation of all of the toy ads for Star Wars toys coming out around like the end of A New Hope and the beginning of Empire Strikes Back, and even into Return of the Jedi a little bit. It's the most amazing, like, oh my gosh. It's so good. Yeah, Voice of Hunter 96 was really good. Also, I will live and die. I loved Gargoyles so much. I still love Gargoyles. One of these days, that will be the subject matter that I do in one of these episodes.
Ah!
I think it's a little surprising, honestly, that we haven't seen something done with that series yet. As far as
reboot?
remakes or reboots or live action.
Yeah. Although, okay, maybe I'm wrong because it's so precious to me, but you can't tell me that the first round of like weird prosthetics or weird CGI that they do for the gargoyles themselves aren't going to look like the thing of nightmares.
Oh yeah.
Like
100%.
I love their design so much, but you put that into anything other than 2D animation and I'm just like, Goliath, no. My boy, what have they done?
What have they done to you?
Look how they massacred my boy.
Yeah, I for one am kind of personally grateful that they haven't tried yet.
But very fair, I'm surprised because it's a Disney property. Like it was Disney Animation who was making it, so I don't know.
I keep thinking maybe it's one of those like somebody had the idea and then something came out that bombed, like the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or like their remake of Cats or whatever, and they're like, yeah, maybe we should wait.
Yeah.
Until we can figure out how, to M's point, how to make the characters like not be awful.
Not be nightmares.
Not be nightmares. Yeah. Well, and also like I did not keep up with it because it got hard to find for a while. But definitely after the first season, like I'm pretty sure there's a couple of storylines that just go off the rails. So it's the how much do you keep that's canon and how much do you because like the concept is great, but yeah, there's definitely I guess spoilers, I guess. Like there was a whole nother island that they end up finding of other gargoyles and like his daughter, and it gets weird and yeah.
They start relying very heavily on magic, mysticism, and like random mythos to come up with storylines. It's like this doesn't make sense, and now Pan is in like practically every episode just wreaking havoc. Okay, okay.
Okay. Yeah. Oh, you pull off the mask. Oh, no, it's Pan again. You got me, you trickster.
But see, now they would just give Pan his own series. It's tied in.
I hate it because you're not wrong.
That's the announcement we're gonna get. We're gonna be like, you'll see the trailer like, did you grow up with gargoyles? Wasn't that an amazing series? Well, guess what? Now we've decided to make a spin-off series for the anti-hero.
You loved him, remember?
No.
Remember how much you loved him?
No.
Oh god. Although if you could give me the I would totally watch a spin-off series about the what was their name? It was the 4 characters where it was Fox and all 4 of those, and they were just so ridiculous. Now I can't remember their names, but so good. I would watch them. Del Raven in chat says The Book of Pan.
Or we'll give you the backstory, the prequel nobody asked for about Morgana,
Like I don't care. It wasn't important. Oh gosh. like just give you like a whole in-depth deep dive to the sorcerer, at the very beginning of the series, and you're like, we already know, like we didn't. He has his story arc. It's okay. I don't.
But no, you got to go all the way back. Like, this is how he was born, and then he was bullied in school when he started mastering the dark arts.
Oh.
I'll show them all.
And then a gargoyle killed his father.
Oh gosh. Oh, so
But
good.
make it like that it just fell off the side of a building.
Yeah.
And then he just totally.
No, you don't understand.
Kill him. Okay, but like there was construction and it just happened. Oh my god. Amazing. Seriously, animation companies, hire all of us. Like we're
on it.
We've got this.
We can put
Yes.
ideas in a hat, draw them randomly, and make Laser Tag Academy. Come on.
I know exactly how this works. You just do everything. Yes, Del, the Wolf Pack. Thank you. That's what they were called, the Wolf Pack. Soapbox Clats. This is pod racing. Yes. Yes, this is literally what we're doing right now. Amazing. Oh god, I love it. Yeah, I think it was times like this, especially in the animation lab, when we're all sleep deprived and overly caffeinated, and we just get laughing about these crazy things. And I'd have that moment where, like, I understand how SpongeBob got made now. Like, I get it, because they're like, no, he's a sponge, but he lives in a pineapple. Yeah, I'm like, nope, this makes sense to me now. Oh, goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Garfield's so cute.
Thanks.
I love it. I love it because it's this beautiful like mix of both of the series styles, and they look like they go together.
Ah, thank you. So the cartoon Garfield and Friends had such a huge impact on my sense of whimsy and snark. I remember, so the and Friends part of Garfield, if you don't remember, was a bunch of farm animals living in the country, big red barn, adorable, all drawn in the same style as Garfield. And one of the characters was, so there was one character that was a little chick, and then his brother or sister was named Sheldon, and he never came out of his shell, so it was an egg with feet.
Oh my gosh, I remember that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I remember Sheldon.
And
Oh,
I remember,
gosh.
however old I was, thinking, yes, these are the people I want to spend my life with. People who realize that they can use language and animation to be so flippin' funny.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, but also they liked to pun their own like audience.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you guys remember, but there was an episode where they were trying their darndest to get Sheldon to finally hatch.
Uh-huh.
And the whole episode, you're like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. And then at the end, the shell cracks and there's another egg.
He's like a never nude.
Oh.
That's amazing.
This is what I'm going to do with my life.
Teach kids that things do not go according to plan.
feel like those are the ones where, you know, as someone who's designed characters, sometimes like there's part of me that is so impressed, but also hates how simplistic that design is and how great it works. Like it's one of those where you're like, no, this is so on the nose. It's so simple, but it's perfect. Like you can't change that because it just works so well.
Yeah. It's I feel like I've talked about this on the stream before, but Squidbillies
Mm-hmm.
is a Saturday evening cartoon, not a morning cartoon. But Ben Prisk, who does the background art for that, and a super nice guy, I like fangirled him, and he was so nice about it. His stuff, I swear, that is like butcher paper and tempera paint, and it's beautiful and effective, and I want to live in that world. Like I want to I need Ben Prisk to be my mentor.
Also, it's such a great feeling when somebody who you admire and like so much that you get to meet in person ends up being just really nice and gracious. And you're like, thank you for letting me be a crazy person to you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you. Thanks, George. Nope, just kidding. Megan, that is looking so fun. I love it.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Thank you.
And Joey, those colors on the hair. When you brought that up, I was like, please make those colors awesome, and you did.
Well, thanks.
Now, does she transform into anything, or does she stay in that form?
She stays this way. They're an alien race that have horns. They're called Anis, which are, in Japanese culture, spirits that are horned.
Gotcha.
She woke up like that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do it. Oh, it's so silly. I love it so much.
So what was the run on Laser Tag Arena?
It was one season, and I believe it was 13 episodes.
Yeah, I was finding a lot of that when I was looking at stuff.
Yep, there's 13. They were 30 minutes long. Let's see. Yep, it looks like it ran from September of 1986 to December of 1986.
Just in time for Christmas.
Oh gosh.
Merry Christmas, everybody. We're getting canceled.
Hooray! Oh gosh, it's so good. So good. I will say though, and this is a funny thing, but many of the voice actors who are part of it have actual photos on IMDb, so it means they went on to do other things. But yeah. Oh, I wanted to tell you, and I should have mentioned this earlier. The bad guy with the amazing character design, his name is Draxon Dreer.
Fantastic naming.
Yep. So good. So good.
Does he have like a motivation? Like, I know he's chasing this person through time, but
So from the trailer that I watched, and I should have gone back and done a little bit more. It looks to me like it was very much a Demolition Man thing, where he was a bad guy who was like frozen in prison, and he definitely unthaws and gets out, and like the main character, she has the most powerful laser gun that does things, and then he steals like the other one that also does things, because at one point this is amazing, you guys, you have to watch the opening, it's so good. He shoots out a section of like bullet train track and it just disappears, and then she uses her laser gun to shoot and make like an ice path in it so that the train can still go over it.
oh my gosh.
It's so good. Because again, they're like, okay, so we've got like Wonder Twins type powers that come into it.
No.
But then, like I said, he literally takes his gun, and I don't even know where the 5 demons come from, but they're all standing around him. He shoots at them. It like bounces off of them. I'm assuming they're like laser tag vests. And then all of a sudden there's a scene with dinosaurs.
What? Wait, what?
So I feel like you see why I couldn't not do this one. Too much. It's just too much. I love it. Like what? Kids love dinosaurs. I guess. Yes, they do. Oh gosh. Yeah. But to answer your question, Joey, I don't specifically know his motivation. It seems like freedom was the first part, and then to get power so that he could maintain his freedom, and I'm assuming some sort of domination following that.
Sounds par for the course.
Yeah.
I can believe that. I think we have everything we need to make this show a banger. The real important question is, how many laser tags did they sell for Christmas?
Right? I think that was the funny thing too, as I was like looking up this show and thinking about it. I was like, yeah, this is kind of what I think of when I think of a laser tag vest. Like, they really did nail the look of it. I just don't know how that totally factors into the story. But
Because, Hasbro and stuff, a lot of these shows were just, we were paying for a 30-minute commercial spot.
Right. Yeah.
That's why we were traumatized as Transformers fans as kids, because they're like, well, we need to sell new toys with the movies. So all that other stuff, no, they're dead. First 5 minutes. Optimus, no.
Okay. All right, here we go. This is too good. I'm sorry. I don't know why I say it's on. It should be in, but the year is 2986. The world is perfect, and mankind has a society without crime or wars, ruled with justice and peace by Laser
Holy
Tag
shit.
Academy and its
It really
agents.
is Demolition Man.
In this hyper-technological and peaceful society, Jamie Jaron is a 13-year-old girl, and Laser Tag's cadet and the champion using Starlight, Laser Tag's gun, harmless to people, but it manipulates matter.
What?
Who discovers that an evil scientist named Draxon Dreer has been awakened of his long suspended animation by Professor Olenga, and that Dreer plots to travel in time to change the past to rule the world.
Classic.
So much alliteration.
So much.
Oh, yeah.
They went to the Marvel School of Naming.
The Marvel School of Naming.
Back in time to 1986, to stop Dreer, Jamie meets her ancestors, children Tom, Beth, and Nikki Jaron, who join Jamie in her mission. Living with them, she hides her true identity to Mr. and Mrs. Jaron. Even though it's 1,000 years in the future, they might know it's me. What? Oh, this means that they could do a silly, high school episode. This is amazing. This is all the things. So she hides her true identity as a foreign exchange student being watched in secret by Jaron's neighbor, young Charlie Ferguson, who thinks that Jamie is an alien from another world.
Classic 80s trope.
Yep. Nosy neighbor. Armed with star sensor and the starlights, Jamie and her ancestors live all kinds of adventures through time, trying to save the history and catch Dreer before it's too late.
Yeah.
Why does she need a secret identity? Who's gonna know?
I don't know. Oh my god. It's literally
that's
all the things.
They cherry picked that from Back to the Future, right? Because you can't
Oh yeah, Calvin
muck around
Klein.
with that and
But
up your
1,000 years, it's not like it's her parents.
Also the fact that her name has continued, that lineage, oh my gosh, are they royalty? How do you?
Every generation, we must have one.
Yes.
We must pass along the royalty of the Laser Tag family.
Oh my god, I love it so much.
Oh,
Yep. This is how I knew. I had to do this one. Oh gosh. Yeah, when I was watching the intro and they were talking about it, and I was just like, oh my gosh, it is Demolition Man, and I love it so much because I love Demolition Man. Yeah, it's just so good. I love it. Soapbox Class says capitalism, yay! And Mayor Squish says highly peaceful and 29 something unrealistic. Yeah. I to your point, Simkin, talking about this is what hurts Saturday morning cartoons when it comes to selling toys. Yeah. I don't think this one sold a lot of toys because what do you pick? Which thing do you pick to focus on to make toys from?
Oh, Laser Tag had to pay for it, right? It's got Laser Tag in the title.
Right. Yeah, Del, I think it's...
This was a commercial for Laser Tag.
Look how cool you can be when you play Laser Tag.
Travel through the cosmos. Tag your friends.
Stop
Go save dinosaurs.
Oh, God. Deceive your neighbor. Oh my my god. Yeah, I think the three kids are all siblings, so I think she went back to like the parents. But then again, like, are you just like which lineage line are you following? Like, do you follow just the boy members of the family that keep the family name? And laser tag, you have some explaining to do. How do we get here? How do we get to this point? Oh my god.
Oh my goodness.
So I wonder if his laser gun could harm humans? Like, is that what makes him the villain?
Very possibly. Shoots actual lasers and not just
Yeah, and
light.
just like he's going around vaporizing people. And they were like, no, we can't do this. He travels through time with it.
Also, definitely still utilizing the old, go back to the past to change the future time travel trope. Classic. Oh, that's cool. So one of the actors who did voices in Laser Tag Academy ended up going on to do Shockwave Soundwave for Transformers and Galvatron and Megatron for a bunch of the movies. So,
damn, see?
Yeah. Frank Welker.
Oh, he's been in a lot of stuff.
Let's see. Oh man, apparently the whole complete series is on YouTube, so I'm just gonna drop that in chat because you're welcome. I'll be very curious to see, one, if I can actually make it through the show, but also if any of the things we talked about are at all accurate or what. And honestly, I don't care. But also, like, you can't tell me that this is one of the pieces of art for it. Like, this is the box to like a Sega game. Like,
what on earth?
The beginning and skullduggery. Amazing. Amazing.
Oh man, you didn't tell me the show had skullduggery in it.
I wanted you to be hooked before I just gave you the easy hook. Oh, God. Simkin says, great. Dell is asking me to save it to watch later. You're welcome. I can't be the only one who gets to enjoy it. Also, I love with the coloring what they did, because you have the main character in red, which totally makes sense. Then you have the boy character in blue, the girl character in pink, and then the younger sibling in green, which just feels like the most, like, it's, yep. It's so good. Just looks like brown.
Oh my goodness.
also feel like the very happy and sweet takeaway from this is don't ever think that your idea is too stupid to make a cartoon of. Just don't think that. Because honestly, at this point, it's probably already been done in a worse way. So you do you. You go out there and make that.
I'm just here to entertain myself, honestly.
I love it. Oh my gosh, it looks so cute. I'm loving all of these this morning. They all make me so happy. So I know we have talked about it a little bit when it comes to digital art, but I'm curious, like, I feel like working on a tablet and have a keyboard attached, theoretically, it's easy for me to name my layers. That often means that I still don't. But Megan, do you find that working on a tablet, do you label your layers, or have you abandoned that?
I have abandoned it with greatly. I will say there are some projects where if I've, like right now, I'm working on a commission where I'm doing a little bit more of a digital painterly thing, and the group of the sketches and stuff I want kind of off to the side, and I want to work above that threshold. So I did label the layer that I want to work above.
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't bother these days. I know it's bad practice.
So bad about naming.
Yeah, layers. I was gonna say, as I was just like, and the only reason I layered it is because the other night I was working on a piece and I labeled one layer colors because it was my color dots, and then I labeled the next layer colors because it was the color layer I was gonna color on, and I'm like, no, Emily, that does not help. So yeah, once in a great while, and especially now that, like I said, I've been do my super rough sketch layer, then do another layer over top of it, and then sometimes ink over that top layer, trying to keep track of which layer is actually my final ink layer. Sometimes gets that, but sometimes not.
I tend to layer. I tend to name groups. So, like, if one character, like, I did this illustration recently of a green tea bag, and I kept green tea bag separate from chocolate chip man. So the layers in between aren't named, but the groups are.
I like that. Yeah, of course, during class, I was telling the kids that, if they wanted to label the Procreate files that they were drawing on so that I knew which ones they wanted to save and I could email them to them, they just had to change the file name. Cue me trying to change the file name of my own file about 10 times in a row. I'm like, just let me, and they would open it up. I'm like, don't open it. I want to change the name. And it's like, no. Like, please, please, kids, you can really do. I know you could do it. You can. Miss Emily just can't do it right now, but it can be done. Do as I say, not as I'm currently struggling. All right. So do we want to say probably about 15 more minutes to get to final? Because 3 of you look like you're really close.
That feels good for me.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
About 15.
I have inked almost everything. Nope. I'm also thinking that since there's a big, like, shaggy dog as a part of one of the characters, that there has to be a plot line, or at least a subplot line, where the dog accidentally gets a hold of the laser tag gun and goes around and shoots like fire hydrants and stuff like that. I feel like that had to be a part of it.
That had to happen.
Oh, the collar. Yeah. Oh, just his collar. I think you messed up. I don't think you meant to color that, people.
Bang.
while we're finishing up, I just want to say thank you to all of the artists because this was ridiculously fun. And I'm so happy we did this one.
Thank you for putting this all together.
Ah, my pleasure. It was said earlier in chat, but it's definitely, I look forward to the Saturday morning cartoons that we do because I was just like, oh no, it's waking up and it's getting to do some sort of cartoon related thing, and it is a nice way to start my weekend. As we were talking before we went live, much nicer than some of the other ways that the universe has been trying to celebrate the weekend. Let me build my blanket fort and watch my cartoons and ignore everything else.
I second that.
And thank you, chat, for hanging out with us and enjoying all of the cartoons from your birth years. I think we covered a pretty wide spread, and I like it. I also like the focus as we're all finishing up our pieces. This is always the time where it's really nice to have someone sit with you at your booth at Comic-Con so that they can talk to the people who come up as you're like trying to finish the commission you're working on. So there's a question for you. Now as we're getting into it and we're going into another season of this, we'll say, are any of y'all thinking of attending cons if they're open or tabling, or are you thinking of continuing to do your at-home sales?
I definitely want to get back to doing shows. So depends what's open. Like I've got the ones that I went to, and if any of those are running, I might try to table at those for sure.
I am also planning to venture out at least to local shows.
Okay.
But I'm probably still going to be focusing virtual this year.
I was just invited last night to do some work with a small company at various cons, and I think I'm gonna do it.
Yay! Exciting. Yeah, so I know a couple of the local conventions that most of us do. I feel better about those. Not that I'm opposed to the bigger shows, but I think definitely the being able to come home at night or just have it be a one-day show, like that still sounds so silly, but like endurance wise, I'm like, I know I can definitely do that. I don't know if I've got the stamina for a full weekend show as I'm out of practice. I think some of the ones that required a little bit more travel, I'm definitely probably going to skip again this year. We'll see. We'll see as it gets into summertime, that might change. Definitely, I miss the people. I miss the art friends.
That's kind of where
Yeah.
I'm at. I'm like, if everybody I know personally, has taken the precautions and been vaccinated and everything, I feel a little bit more comfortable. I feel a little bit more comfortable not having to do a lot of travel and stuff. So I'm more open to do the local stuff.
And I definitely think, I know I had run into, we'll say probably the end of 2019, definitely kind of getting almost a sort of fatigue from some of the people I was seeing at conventions where, like, they were still attending, but it was a different vibe than it had been. But I think now that we've had literally a couple of years off and that hasn't been a thing, the few times I have gone out and done something, like, the enthusiasm is much different than it was before. Like,
Right.
people are very excited to once again have a thing that they can attend and go to a show like that. So I know that helps me. Also kind of happy because I think I redeemed myself from one good week of drawing dogs to one bad week of drawing dogs, and I think we're back to a good week of drawing dogs. I feel like many things where on a conceptual level, I understand it. I understand how animals work and how they move. And then I go to draw them and I'm like, clearly I do not understand how animals move or work.
Oh man, I had a moment like that. I went to draw a gear or a cog, and I'm like, yeah, obviously, it has the doohickeys and it's a circle. And why isn't this working? None of this is working. Why is this not working?
Yep. Yep. The bane of my existence in lightning bolts, where it's just a lightning bolt. Emily, you know how to draw a lightning bolt? And I was like, I do. I definitely know how to draw a lightning bolt. When I get to the first couple of lines, I'm like, oh no. Oh no. Wait, which one, man? Oh no. Yep. Oh, Joey, I love that little subtle crosshatch in the background. That's so good. That looks dope.
Oh.
You probably didn't hear the part right before that, which was a countdown had commenced. So
Uh-oh.
I don't know what's happening up there.
Oh boy. You know things are not going well when a countdown starts.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. I'm sorry. This is such a random story, but I will tell you the story, then we can do our outros. So I went and I did bottle return and had to pick up something at Wegmans the other day. So I'm in the parking lot and I'm loading my car. And the spot I pulled into is right next to the cart return. So there's an open space and then there's a family getting into their car on the other side of that. So there's a mom, I think there's 3 kids. She's loading up one of the littler ones into the back seat, and the one kid's kind of standing back by the trunk. And all of a sudden you hear him like exclaim. And he's, oh no. So he had one of the triangular shaped pizza boxes, which he has now dropped into the snow.
Oh.
And he's just standing there being like, oh, I dropped my pizza. And in my brain, I'm like, so pick it up. And then I was like, oh, that's unfortunate. And my sympathy responders, started up. They were immediately squashed because the next words out of his mouth were, I can't believe they gave me a faulty box. Why would they do that? And I was like, oh, buddy, no. And I was like, nope, Emily, get into your car, walk away. Walk away before you say things to this family randomly in the parking lot of Wegmans. And all I can tell you for resolution is that as I was pulling out, one of the poor gentlemen who is the helping hands who takes all the carts from the outside thing and takes them back to the shop was being talked to by the mom. And I'm just like, oh, go away. Just drive away. Just don't look back. Like holding my hand over my rearview mirror. Like, don't look back. But I was just like, I don't think I've ever had my sympathy for a child turn so fast where I was just like, oh, nope. Like, I get it. That sucks. It sucks to drop your pizza in the snow. Trust me, my young friend, I feel you. But had you immediately gotten down and picked it up, you probably could have saved it. Like, also, I'm pretty sure if you just went back into the store and said, hey, we just dropped this in the snow, especially if the pizza popped out of it. Like, is there any way we could get another slice? Like, I'm pretty sure you could have had a positive resolution to that, but. So, yeah, that's my.
So things that toddlers, like, I don't know if you guys have seen like the TikToks and stuff where it's like, my toddler's upset because totally mundane thing that, happens. So on the note of like dropping the pizza, I forget what we were having for dinner, but a piece fell off of baby girl's plate onto the floor and the dog was on it. Like he did his job. And then she's upset and crying and screaming because the dog ate her food. And I'm just like, I'll go get you another. I'm just gonna say it was chicken. I'm like, I'll go get you another piece of chicken, but sweetie, when it hits the floor, it is his. That is not something that we could be upset about. It happens.
Yep, that's kind of his thing. Oh gosh, nope. The one of the TikToks I saw recently that I absolutely adored was a little girl. Like there's snow on the ground. You see this little girl. Probably 4, maybe 3 or 4, and she's running forward and she's just wearing like a long sleeve shirt and her snow boots and everything, and it's the mom behind like filming, and she's got the winter coat like holding it up, and it's doing the audio talk over where it's just like proof to the other parents that I'm not a bad parent, and she just will not wear her winter jacket. And I'm like, I feel that. Yep. Mm-hmm. It
is a thing. It is a thing. Or like when somebody decided she didn't want to wear her gloves, but she wanted to go play in the snow. And I'm like, okay, but when your hands are cold, you got to come back inside. And she's like, I'm fine. She's 3. She's like, I'm fine. She goes out there about 2 minutes later. My hands are cold. I'm like,
All I want to say to you right now is I told you so. But I know that that's not going to help anything. But I still really
No.
want to say it.
Like,
Plus, then
okay.
you get like the little kid where you don't understand something as your hands like start burning and feeling really hot because they got so cold, and you're just like melting down because you cannot understand the ramifications.
I felt so bad. I wrapped her hands, and I'm like, okay, so next time when Mommy's like, we gotta put gloves on before we go touch snow.
Mm-hmm. Good times. All right. So Joey, you want to go first? In our
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it. There we go.
Okay, so here's Lum. All updated. This was fun. I'm gonna check out the new series. Like I haven't seen the original. Like I know the character obviously from the internet, like seeing her around, but I've never seen the series, so I'm gonna definitely check out the renewal series that's coming out this year, and then if it's good, I'll go back and check out some of the original stuff. I think.
Yeah.
Seems cool. Sounds like a fun series too, from what I was doing in my research. So.
Yeah, I like the overly exaggerated, aliens and anime. Like, they're usually fun. I usually enjoy those. They have a good track record with me, so I'm willing to I'll try another one. You've had me before.
Yep.
All right. And where can people find you if they want to see more of your wonderful art?
All right. You can find me everywhere on the internet and gaming at Slooty Mage. That's Leet Speak, so numbers for vowels. You can also find me streaming, if not with the Doodle Crew, usually on Voice of Hunter on Twitch. We usually stream League of Legends over there. And hopefully at some point my own streams will be back up and running again now that the studio is back up and running again. So
Yay!
Look for me there on Twitch.
Excellent. All right. Lovely Philomena.
Hiya, hiya.
Yes. Oh my gosh, look at her. I love it.
Thank you. I'm really proud of the buttons.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Look at
Thank
that. I
you.
love it.
Yeah, so it's Wednesday Addams, circa 1973 via Hanna-Barbera, but going 3 years into the future where Garfield is her neighbor.
Ugh, I love it.
Thank you.
I also you showed me the picture. I watched it happen, and I'm still trying to wrap my brain around Wednesday Addams in pink.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, it totally. It makes me so happy because I feel like that's really me. Like I'm like I'm not a goth, but if I were a goth, I would be a pastel goth.
Yep.
Or a rainbow goth. You know.
Yes. I love it. And where can people find more of your wonderful art?
Thank you. I am Philomena Jack's Studio, and that's Philomena with an F like flower all over. And my podcast is called Making It Up, and we use a lot of purple in the logos and stuff. And Miss Emily was an amazing art guest on Making It Up.
Ah, that's one of my early ones.
Yep.
Yeah, heck yeah. Thank you so much. I'm so happy you joined us.
Thank you. I'm so just tickled to be sitting with this much talent in one space. So thanks for letting me play with y'all.
Yeah. Speaking of talent, switching over to Megan. Look at these beautiful ladies.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God.
I love it.
Love it. But yeah, so I think I'll put this border back on the star, but I took it off for a second and forgot I did the lines on the bottom. So it's pretty much done. But people can find me across the interwebs at Megan C Creates. I also, shameless plug, am having a pen sale over on my Etsy. So if you do follow me, you have found the coupon code, I assume, and can use it to save 22% off.
Yay! It's here on my desk. Look at these amazing pins. I love him so much.
I'm so glad.
Yes. Yeah, no, it's awesome. Definitely check out Megan's Etsy. There's super fun stuff. I love this piece. Also, kudos to you for drawing a guitar and hands.
the guitar was not cooperating today. I'm like, oh, was this a mistake?
I've made a terrible mistake.
I'm just gonna run with it. It looks enough like a guitar. I'm just counting it.
Yep, people can tell. Like, they're like, no, it's guitar adjacent. That's close enough for me. No, I love it. No, this is awesome. I'm so happy. All right. Let me do my phone. So I'll show you my line art, which I think is a little bit more, it's definitely more finished. So yeah, here's lovely Laser Tag Academy.
Oh, I love it.
I wanted very much the, like, I was thinking Ronin Warriors, but pretty much any anime that's got like the bad guy up in the back and then all the characters in front. I just love that shot. And then of course I had the realization where I was just like, why are you drawing 6 characters in 2 hours? What are you doing? It's like, well, we're here now. So yeah, I started blocking in my colors, so we'll have a little bit. Yeah, but it's fun. I definitely enjoyed it, and it was absolutely worth the laugh of this insane show, which I'm not going to go watch on YouTube. But you can follow me everywhere across the internet at a swan named Emily. I stream on this channel a whole bunch. I'm also over on twitch.tv/inaddpod every other Wednesday for the podcast that I'm on. We got fun stuff. If you ever want to check out past episodes of Doodle Crew, they're all over on my YouTube, as well as the interview series, season 1 of Doodle Crew, Sketching Shakespeare, all my fun stuff, all my other projects that I need to get back into doing. But yeah, check us out. We've got Doodle Crew stuff planned through the next couple of months, and then we're going to be doing some community days stuff. So if people in the community want to draw with us or play drawing games with us, that's coming up in our mid-season break, or between season break. So yeah, and if you want to see more of the Doodle Crew, follow us at Doodle Crew Draw. That's Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. We post the art from the episodes, so you can check that out, as well as links to all of the artists, and you can follow the link tree if you have any other questions. So thank you so much, everybody in chat. We love you. You're wonderful. Happy Saturday morning cartoons. Goodbye.